Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2025 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, swords that we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossword as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom and oracle card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea where your focus should be as far as that goes. All right, we have 7. So, 7th house energy for you guys is Aries, and currently we have Venus there, which is your ruler. It'll be there until the end of the first week of June. We've had Chiron there for quite some time as well. Recently we had Neptune move into Aries, and now we're actually going to have Saturn move into Aries in a couple of days as well. So, plenty of energy going on in your 7th house, so it makes sense to see that come up. And 7th house is the house of partnerships, relationships, contracts. All right, we have Jupiter. So Jupiter is currently in Gemini, which is your 9th house of philosophy, higher learning, and foreign affairs. It's actually going to be moving into Cancer around a little past the end of the first week of June, and that'll be moving into Cancer, which is your 10th house of career and social status. And we have Gemini. So yeah, I mean, we pretty much just started Gemini season. As far as the energies going on in there, of course, the sun will be there until around the 20th of June. We'll have a new moon in Gemini coming up in a few days. What else? Well, I mentioned already that Jupiter's in there right now. And Venus is there until around the end of the first week of June as well. So I think that covers everything with that. So yeah, we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the 5 of Swords, Aquarius energy. Challenging that, we have the Page of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from this is I feel like this is someone who tends to move the goalpost on you. So what I mean by that is, maybe you could come into some sort of an agreement with someone, right? It seems like everything's on the up and up. And then the next thing you know, they're moving the goalpost. So whatever agreement it was seems just out of reach, right? So if we look at the artwork there, get it to focus, see how that pentacle is just out of their reach. That's kind of what I'm getting with that. That's the connection I'm seeing with these two cards, is to say that, you might come to what you think is an agreement with someone, but there's really something underhanded going on to where, they don't seem to be satisfied with a win-win situation. They want to feel like, okay, it's not enough for us to come to an agreement on something. I have to feel like I'm the winner in the situation. So be on the lookout for that. In the foundation position, we have the Hangman. So for me, this says that a lot of you haven't at least an awareness of that, right? And I feel like this is saying ultimately you're already trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the best way to approach this, right? Do I continue to deal with this person? Do I cut ties? Do I reciprocate that energy, right? Which would be probably the worst of the possibilities, but sometimes it happens. But yeah, so I feel like that's what you're trying to figure out at this time. Right. In the past position, we have the 9 of Cups. So Pisces energy here, and to me this is, if nothing else, to me this is a good indicator that you feel like you don't need that, right? So it's kind of one of those things. So if it is something where someone's trying to get a one up on you, seems like you have enough of your own thing going on to where you can just cut ties, and it won't even really be much of an issue for you. So this definitely doesn't seem like something you need necessarily. So if you were able to come to an agreement, it would be more of a luxury. And if you do feel like someone's trying to do something underhanded, it seems like you won't hesitate to cut ties. All right. In the position of the present energy, we have Justice. So this is the major arcana card for your sign. So on the one hand, this could just be saying this is you taking on that energy, right? Of, okay, I'm going to balance the scales, and we mentioned already some of the ways you could possibly do that, right? But yeah, beyond that, this could also just be saying that karmically, looks like the scales might be rebalanced here. So whatever the situation is, it looks like it's going to work out in your favor either way. In the near future position, we have the Page of Cups. So really what I'm getting from this is I feel like this is that same person or group, whatever the case may be, coming forward again, right? After you, let's say if you do call them out on the thing that they're trying to do, right? Or you do step away because you're like, no, this doesn't work for me, right? It seems like you're constantly moving the goalpost. Maybe I'll just cut ties, right? So I feel like then they'll come back in again and attempt to offer something, but we see the fish in the cup there, right? So there's still going to be something fishy about it. We're like, you know what? Okay, maybe you have upped the level of the offer that now, as far as what they're trying to give to you, but you still might not necessarily view it with too much integrity. Well, too much integrity for them, I should say. All right. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the world. So yeah, so to me, I'm getting a been there, done that energy with this, right? So okay, seen it before, heard it before, done it before, right? So again, I just feel like this is saying that you might have been in a cycle like that in the past, and to me, this is saying that you learned from it. So therefore, you're not necessarily going to have to repeat it, right? So like I said, and to me, that ultimately seems to be why you do seem content to cut ties, if need be. In the environment position, we have the Four of Wands. So now for some of you, especially that this is Aries energy here, and we did see 7th house come up for you guys, this can just be saying that maybe this really does truly cause that person to step up and say, okay, yes, now here's a true win-win, right? We do see the balance in this energy. We see 2 wands there, 2 wands there. So that's, to me, that looks like fairness, right? Where both sides feel like winners, right? A big difference from that 5 of Swords energy we see. So for some of you, this could say, okay, that might ultimately finally cause them to step up and say, okay, Libra's setting their boundaries here. I can't get one over on them. Fine. Okay, let's enter into the agreement with fairness. For others of you, this could just be saying that karmically, by rejecting that offer, that's not on the up and up, right? That could open you up karmically to receive something that would be fair. So, to be honest with you, I feel like that's more likely that it would be a new thing coming your way. But for some of you, again, like I said, it could be that person stepping up. I just feel like for the majority of you, you probably wouldn't be able to take them seriously, even if they did attempt to offer it at that point. In the hopes or fears position, we have death. Yeah, so for a lot of you, you might actually want to just leave this behind, right? It could just be one of those things. Given that this is Scorpio energy, this might have been something that resurfaced around that Scorpio full moon we had recently as well. And you could just be saying, you know what, been there, done that, I'm not going through this again. And of course, given for you guys that Scorpio is a financial house, it could be more likely related to finances than a romantic connection, but of course, that could be a possibility as well. Right. And in the outcome position, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So to me, this could represent news coming through around reconciling this situation, right? As far as, so, all right, as soon as I said the word reconcile, just want to put the disclaimer, I don't necessarily mean reconciling like a romantic connection, right? But just fixing what was wrong in the situation, right? So if someone, let's say, took money from you in some way, this could just be saying then the universe would replenish that, or you get word around, hey, this is how you're going to get back where you were. Justice could even represent for some of you, might have even escalated to a level of a legal situation, right? So where there could be the law involved. But either way, I feel like this is saying you're either going to get word of how those scales are going to be rebalanced, or possibly you'll actually just have an idea on your own of, okay, you know what, yeah, experienced a setback there, but here's how I can get back on my feet. So it seems like it's going to be relatively short-lived for you guys, however it plays out. All right, and bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, so to me, this is just showing you ultimately valuing what you have, right? So again, like I said, that to me points back to what I was saying with the Nine of Cups, to where it seemed like you were relatively content anyway, right? So if someone was trying to play games where, you, again, like I said, maybe you discuss something, come to an agreement on something, but then they try to get the upper hand in some way, you say, all right, well, I'm good to just walk away from the table, right? So that's what I'm seeing with this as well. All right. From the Four Agreements deck, we have Don't Take Anything Personally, and it says Embrace Your Freedom. Okay? It says you gain a huge amount of freedom when you take nothing personally. No spell can affect you, regardless of how strong it may be. And if you live without fear, if you love, you'll be happy with your life. So yeah, definitely a positive message there. Now, taking things personally, right, that could be difficult sometimes with a Five of Swords energy to rise above that. But like I said, seeing the Hangman and the Foundation, Justice, the World, for the majority of you, it seems like there won't be an issue. Like I said, more than likely because you might have already been through a cycle like that before and learned from it, so you're in no rush to repeat that again. From the Wisdom Oracle, we have Observer. There's the artwork, and the number is 49. All right, essential meanings says perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. The Oracle's message: most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'd be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. So yeah, that message definitely reminds me of the Hangman, which we do see in the Foundation position, and to an extent the World card as well. So for a lot of you, it seems like it would be easy for you to step into that energy. The relationship message says sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo of an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. Take time out before you react. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words have affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take the higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. See, that's an interesting message there, right? Because in the context of a relationship, I was saying that for some of you, with this Four Wands energy and environment, like I said, for a lot of you, it seems like this would be something new coming your way that is going to meet your standards. But like I said, for some of you, ultimately, this might be this person stepping up as well. So it could play out either way. The prosperity message says it is an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and timing be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned. Trust spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. Remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. So yeah, definitely a positive message there as well. Like I said, it does seem like whatever the situation may be, it looks like the scales will be rebalanced in a positive way this month. So definitely something to look forward to there. All right, so hope that resonated for you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.